thought today maybe I would take a different approach for some challenges. You know, what is Sonic most famous for in his level design? Of course, you know what it is. It's his loops. So I thought today I would be creative and try to beat this game without going upside down. This would of course require a bunch of tricky platforming, and it's very good and fun. So I thought, let's just try it. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Season 1, Episode 3 of MythGamers. Can you beat Sonic 1 without going upside down? We start our journey in good old Green Hill Zone. And you'll want to avoid the high route and drop down to the low route. As you see, there is a loop up there, so you want to get up there. And also, do not jump at this part right here, so you don't, But then there's a big problem. There's a pile of spikes, so we actually can't take the low route. So we'll have to find another way up. The high route seems promising, and it does work. After you avoid the enemies and land on top of the loop, which is just perfect, knowing that the rest of the level doesn't have any loops. So you'll get to the end of this one very easily. Act 2 starts with you having to do some pretty tricky platforming. Go down to the bottom route and hit the red spring and end up perfectly right after the loop, and that is perfect because and it'll make you end off at the end of this level. Act 3 has you needing to avoid the top route because there's a loop up there. So take the bottom route and drop down through this S tunnel, and then get to the boss eventually. And eventually, after you complete the boss, you will be at the end of the level. And let's move on to Marble Zone. Marble Zone does not include any threats because Marble Zone has no loops or high slopes, so it won't cause much of a threat. So yeah, let's just skip to Spring Yard. Next is Spring Yard Zone, and we have the first incredible thing of it not looking like a big trouble. You might think, oh my god, this is not that bad of a deal. But no, there is this one slope that might make you go upside down. And it's not the worst thing ever, and you'll easily complete it if you just be careful. Next is Act 2, and Act 2 has nothing challenging. As you see, there is not a single loop or spring that will launch you into a slope that puts you upside down, which is a real banger here, and you'll easily get to the end and complete it. And by banger, I meant like good thing. Act 3 is very good, and it's another one of those tricky slopes, but you'll easily be able to get past it if you go up to it very slowly. This one actually can trick you, but once you get to the boss, you can easily complete it, and you'll be on your way to Labyrinth Zone. Labyrinth Zone is very easy since they have no slopes or high slopes or loops, so let's just skip right on to Starlight. Starlight, it can't be that bad, can it? Oh, right. This is where I meet my first roadblock. It might not look like trouble, but there is a big roadblock here. You see, if you go down to the low route, you'll be granted with a loop. But if you take this high route up here, you will have to take this spring to get up there, and this spring will launch you up into an upside down slope. So I kept trying. I thought maybe I would be able to do it if I had enough speed, and alas, I was not able to do it. I kept trying, and I thought maybe I could fit through this small corridor right there. but alas, it was that bad, and I cannot do that, and it just, yeah, and then I tried spin dashing, and this is what happened. Did not work at all. And yeah, so that made me think, well, this is not possible, definitely, in the original version, but then I thought, what about the mobile version? And I also tried jumping off the spring in a different way, but yeah. But I thought, what about the mobile version? The mobile version has tails. I thought maybe with tails, I thought it would maybe be possible if I boot it back up and use tails in the mobile version. Of course, I've been using the mobile version for the whole time because of the touch controls, but you see, this was where I most usually thought of doing the mobile version of Tails, because you see, Tails has his flying ability. So if we do boot it back up with Tails, you see, he can easily make it over that loop with just a little bit of platforming. You see, once he gets down here, and he just, has his little buddy, and then Buddy Boy goes down, and then he goes down and flies over the loop, because loop-de-loops are not a trouble for him, because you see, he has the flying ability. Honestly, how does he fly with his tails? Honestly, how does he not get those tails tangled up, honestly? But anyways, the rest of the level is not much of a threat. As you see, there's not a lot of loops left. It's just some tricky routing, and you'll eventually get to the end and be on your way to Act 2. Act 2 starts off with some tricky platforming. As you see, the double loop, and the double loop right here is another thing that you get stuck on in the original version. But if you do fly over it with Tails, you will be able to get past it in the mobile version, and that's a good thing, because yeah. And I will say this: the mobile getting past things in the mobile version, people might think this is not okay, but yeah, I think it's fine. It's fine. Here you're blocked by a loop, so you'll have to take a different route. And I think the mobile version is still a version of the game, so I think this is okay. After that, we will easily get past Act 2 and move on to Act 3. What you want to do at the start of Act 3 is drop down to this low route. As you'll see, there are many loops in the high route that you do not want to go through, so easily taking the low route is your key. Just don't avoid a lot of all the enemies and all the stuff, and you'll eventually make it to the boss to make it to the end of the level. That brain zone might not look like trouble at first, but you'll actually have to push this button and roll on here to avoid going upside down in that little thingy man. I think it's going up high that will do that, yeah. But you can also just fly over a bunch of them that are scattered all around the level. So it's just easy peasy after you do that. And yeah, I'm sorry I missed the flying part. Yeah, it's actually kind of cool that you can actually fly over there. I mean, Tails is my buddy boy. Why did I forget about that? But in Act 2, you'll see that you'll want to avoid these wheel thingies, because these wheel thingies will put you upside down if you are on them for too long. So I just fly around them and easily make it to here. And I want to ask Sega, how do you think little kids would get past this in the 90s? Honestly, like when they were playing their Genesis, I think. And I was playing as Tails, and I struggled with it a little bit. I mean, come on, this is, Sega. I mean, this is a little bit too much, honestly. I mean, this is the final level, but yeah, I switched to high route after I died, and I kept dying and all, and yeah, but the high route did look promising. And just avoid these wheels and the other thing that, yeah, and then just avoid them with some tricky stuff, and that damage was unnecessary. And then get to the end of the level where Eggman does go off and, just puts you into Act 3. And I mean, come on, this guy is actually pretty stupid. I mean, come on, you're seriously doing this? I mean, this look at his face. I mean, come on. But anyways, Act 3 doesn't have anything to do with with bad stuff, because there are no tricky slopes, and you'll easily get to the end of it because of Tails' swimming ability, and it's basically Labyrinth Zone Act 4. And Labyrinth Zone was not challenging, so yeah, that's basically it. So it's not the worst thing ever, and yeah, that's basically it. I mean, like, there is no thing that can stop us with Tails' flight ability, because you see, yeah, even this jump right here can't, you know, stop us, because we're Tails and we can swim and we have all powers. So yeah, that's basically it. When we get to the final bosses, here that I know my challenge is over. Even if I don't complete the boss, I know my challenge is over. So can you beat Sonic 1 without going upside down? I'm gonna say half yes on this one. Of course, you can get past it with the mobile version with Tails, but you see, in the original version, there's many places you get stuck because we had to use spin dashes, Tails, and there's just many places you get stuck in the original version, and I do not recommend it in the original version. But with the great stuff of the new mobile version, and you are able to get past it with Tails and just flying. Honestly, this wasn't the hardest challenge ever, as Sonic 1 is the shortest Sonic classic Sonic game. I'd love to do other things, other games with this challenge. Sonic 2, Sonic 3, Knuckles. There's a bunch of games I'd love to do with this challenge, and yeah, seasons have already been planned by me, and a couple of them are on these plans for the seasons. So yeah, I've already planned seasons 1 through 3 of the show. So yeah, so with that is going to be it for today's video. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss another video, and stay tuned for the spectacular minigame with Candy. Oh, and also, don't sleep with turtles. Okay, guys, just don't.